Hi friends, welcome back to another episode in David Recap. Eddie is a fairly usual, commonly, and regular, healthy woman Hatinga hole who bangs a lot of girls, after getting his heart broken in high school after finding out that the girl he had a crush on started to date his bully Edino, is the well-known author of the book Have Your Cake and Eat It Too, where he teaches guys how to pick up girls with easy steps. His best friend Steve is not much different, wanting to bang anything that moves on. Night, while on his way to an organization that helps needy people fashion show, Ed meets a crazy old woman in an alley, chews him out for not respecting women and demand that he kiss her to prove that he can see the beauty inside. Edie thinks this is all some sort of joke and brushes the woman off, then does something weird with her stick inside the party. Ed picks up another woman by playing on her sources of worrying and stress. After talking her up, she invites him back to her place, and they start to work at demonetizing activities. After resting up after that workout, Teddy goes to take a leak, but finds that this man thing has disappeared, and that High's now a woman, a fine one, I might add. Hethan rushes out of the apartment and calls Steve to come over, but Steve doesn't trust the strange female on the phone, so Ed tricks Steve by telling him that Ed wants a three-way. Heads over to the apartment, but Teddy is nowhere to be found, just a hot girl standing in front of him. Ed then convinces Steve that it is really him showing, telling about some things only they would know, like how they had a very sus moment between them. Immediately Steve wants to smash, but Teddy blows him off. They both try to figure out how this could have happened when Eddie recalls meeting the strange woman in the alley, turning her down because she was extremely ugly, to which Steve replies that he would have gone all the way if he had the chance. They both then plan to find the homeless woman and head over to a nearby homeless shelter, hoping to get lucky, lying that the woman stole from him. They have no luck, but meet Jess, the manager, briefly and leave, thinking of her as a plain Jane. They return to Eddie's place where Steve convinces him to hug, support being a woman, and the two then go out to get a makeover. They go shopping for clothes, getting a hairdo, and waxing little swirling water currents down under, much to the enjoyment of Steve, looking for a in the protective metal or other covering. Ed then goes jogging, where she gets it on, but runs the guy off by telling him that she has a man thing later. Ed joins Steve and their agent Molly for drinks at a bar, where she sees Jess from the shelter. Ed then goes over to talk to Jess, who is sitting alone reading. The two talked up, and Eddie instantly likes Jess, but finds that she cannot make a move since Jess tells her she is straight. Ed learns that Jess is very insecure and plans to help her out by giving her tips to pick up guys to hang out before Ed helps her back to her apartment. The next day, Ed heads over to a demonetizing store to get herself some personal stabbing items for her enjoyment. There, she meets a guy Matt who likes her and invites her out for drinks, giving her his card. Eddie, however, thinks that he would be good for Jess before setting her up with Matt. Eddie takes Jess to get her hair done and give her a makeover too, then head over to meet Matt, and Eddie makes up an excuse and leaves, leaving the two to get to know each other. Eddie then goes by Matt's office and learns from her workers that he is married with 3 kids. Eddie is extremely angry and goes to see Steve, who is quite impressed with Matt for pulling that off. Eddie, though, he's starting to see things from a woman's way of seeing things, sensible view of what is and is not important, no longer impressed with the things he once wrote about at a fashion show. Ed goes to see Jess and tells her about Matt, but Jess does not believe him. Ed even confesses that he is a guy and a girl's buddy, telling her the whole story. Just thinks Eddie, or Edna, as High introduced himself, is crazy and tells her to never contact her again. Feeling depressed, Eddie and Steve hang out, and Steve sees the in the protective metal or other covering and goes for it. Eddie is game and tells Steve that she is going to get freshened up. The plan goes out the window when Ed finds out that it is her time of the month after getting hit on for the millionth time. Ed then decides to write a new book expressing her feelings of being a woman and how men should treat women. Shepis, the old woman one day, who is secretly pleased with Eddie's change. Another guy bumps into her and ends up starting his own movie the next day. Eddie wakes up as himself, calling Steve immediately, who I think must be disappointed to hear the news a few months later. Eddie's new book is a bestseller, attracting a lot of female fans. Meets Jess later and confirms that he was actually Ed, not just forgives him. So you can watch more movies like this.